Hello, Artful Manifestors, and thank you for joining me. In today's reading, we are getting a message from your higher self. What does your higher self want you to know at this time? I recorded this reading yesterday and uploaded it to YouTube. And then when I was doing the final edits, I noticed that there was no sound. So you won't see any shuffling today. This is my second recording with the sound on, but I wanted to honor the cards that came through because some really good messages came through. So these are the same cards that I got yesterday, and I'm hoping that the same or better message comes through. My philosophy is when something unexpected happens, to look for the good in it. All right, so to choose your reading, you're going to choose from one of the cards I'm about to reveal or one of these crystals. For reading number 1, we have the Pentacle, which is card number 2. And for reading number 2, we have Butterfly, which is card number 24. And for reading number 3, we have Fox, which is card number 27. If you like to know what the crystals are, let me introduce those to you now. For reading number 1, we have Moss Agate. And for reading number 2, Cinnabrite. And for reading number 3, Calligraphy Stone. Let your intuition guide you whichever image, card number, crystal you're most drawn to. That's most likely the reading you're meant to hear. Of course, if you're drawn to 2 or even all 3 of the readings, listen to 2 or all 3 because there may be additional insights for you there. You'll find a link to all the readings in the description box below, as well as a list of the cards that I used during this reading. And if I have a link where you can find those cards, I include that as well. Enjoy your reading. Hello, reading number 1. You chose the Moss Agate and the Pentacle. And there's a wonderful synchronicity between these two because they both have the energy of the earth. Moss Agate is sometimes referred to as the stone of new beginnings. Its spiritual gifts are subtle but profound, like spring roots quietly unfurling beneath the soil. Moss agate gently harmonizes the emotional body with Earth's rhythms, making it a powerful companion for calming nervous tension, soothing fear or self-doubt, and supporting steady personal development. It roots you while encouraging expansion, like a tree that grows tall only because its roots reach deep. And it resonates deeply with the heart chakra. It invites a softening of emotional armor, promotes forgiveness and heart-based awareness, and it reconnects the wearer with spirits of plants, trees, and the land. It was traditionally seen as a farmer's talisman. Moss agate carries the energetic signature of fertile fields and fruitful endeavors. It attracts prosperity through aligned, organic action, encourages patience and trust in natural timing, helps you attune to what is ready to grow in your life. And that is just, I love the synchronicity with that energy and the energy of Pentacle, because Pentacles are tangible things. They are earth energy, what can grow. So very aligned message already. Let's look at the tarot cards that you got yesterday. I want to keep the same ones. Page of Cups. Divine timing, right? I got these yesterday, but you're seeing it today. Six of Swords and Eight of Pentacles. All right. Remember I said that Moss Agate is sometimes known as the Stone of New Beginnings. And then here we have the Page of Cups, which is a new beginning. It's the first of the court cards. So it's not like an ace, although this pentacle is like an ace. So definitely beginning something new, but I see you beginning something new at a higher level or renewed. It's begin again, but begin with wonder. So your higher self is inviting a return to emotional innocence, a willingness to see with unjaded eyes. This is not naivety, being naive, but having sacred curiosity, the kind that allows new growth to take root. You're being encouraged to nurture your sensitivities, your dreams, your intuitive nudges without needing them to be useful yet. The page reminds you vulnerability and trust is your fertile ground. This is, that creative spark to follow something without having a practical or logical reason to do it. And I've used this example before, the Harry Potter scene where Harry Potter needs to speak to one of the professors to get some information for Dumbledore, and he doesn't know where he is or if he'll be able to get him to talk. So he drinks his liquid luck, and he comes up with something like, I think I'm going to go visit Hagrid. And of course, Ron and Hermione are like, no, because that didn't seem logical if he wanted to speak to this other professor. And I apologize, I can't remember his name right now. But Harry follows his inspiration, and it ultimately leads him to meeting up with the professor he was looking for and getting the answers that he wanted. So it's that type of thing. It's following these intuitive sparks of inspiration and just doing it without really understanding why you're doing it. And it can be creative. Like maybe you go to the store and there's a spice that catches your eye that you've never used before. And you're like, I don't know what I'm going to make with this, but you pick up that spice and you take it anyways. And then, a few days later, somebody sends a recipe to you for something you had at their house and asked the recipe for, and lo and behold, that spice is on there. So it's like these creative nudges that lead you somewhere, or Maybe you just have this sudden whim to study a foreign language, and to everybody else, it doesn't seem practical. You don't live anywhere near this country. Nobody else you know speaks this language, but you decide you really want to learn this language. And so you take this class and you love it. And then maybe a year later, you get an opportunity to travel there for work or pleasure. And now you know the language. It's just this type of thing where you just follow these intuitive, creative sparks and nudges, and they lead you to the right place. All right. And then you have the Six of Swords, which is, it's a transition. You know, when we look at the Six of Swords, it's like leaving turbulent waters behind to calmer waters. But in this case, you're crossing the inner waters. So this is a gentle, necessary transition, a sacred migration from old thought patterns to emotional landscapes into calmer, wiser shores. Your higher self acknowledges the effort it takes. Sometimes grounded growth means moving away from what no longer anchors you. This isn't escape, but soul-led relocation. Trust the direction you're being moved towards, even if you don't yet see the destination. It's kind of like this Page of Cups. You get this inspiration to move in a direction, and you're not really 100% sure why, but trust in it. There is a divine plan, and it's your plan. It's your higher self's plan. So I do see you doing that. And then the Eight of Pentacles is the craft of becoming. So this is the heart of grounded growth. It's devotion through repetition, and the thing that you're repeating is this divine calling, listening to those little intuitive nudges and practicing listening to that. It's usually that first voice, that quiet voice, like, I feel like coloring, and then you color, as opposed to, I feel like coloring, and then it's like, well, but I should be doing this right now. The first voice is that inner wisdom, that inner voice, the higher self, and those other voices are the ego. And so the Eight of Pentacles is you practicing this grounded growth through repetition, practicing listening to that first voice, honoring it, and following it through with action. Remember we talked about organic growth with the moss agate. Following these intuitive nudges is going to lead you to growth in an organic way. I just remembered I usually pull 3 cards, but I remember 2 cards came out with this one. Let me get that card. I knew it as I was explaining the Eight of Pentacles that the Five of Wands came out with it, and it emphasizes this point of these inner voices. So sometimes when we think of the Five of Wands, we think of conflict in interpersonal relationships, but in this case, it's the inner conflict, those other voices, those voices that you've accumulated from parents, teachers, coaches, communities, society, and you've internalized some of these voices so that when you do want to follow these nudges, these internal voices are the ones that maybe tell you, no, you should do this, no, you should do that. And I love that these two cards came out together, because here you see too many cooks spoil the pot, and they have things catching on fire. It's bubbling over. They can't decide. It's a mess. And these are all inner voices. This isn't external factors. These are things within you. Again, these are echoes from the past, from society, from your culture, that are disrupting the clarity you get when you listen to your inner wisdom. And here you are, your true self, your higher self, working alone, peacefully, trusting yourself, and things work out beautifully. So it's practicing that consistent honoring, listening, following these intuitive nudges, which are going to lead you to greater things. It is a little bit adventurous, like, I wonder, I just feel like going this way today in your route instead of that way. And so you take a different route. You know how to take this different route, though you don't usually do it. And then you find out that there was a huge traffic jam the other way, and you would have been late for an important meeting if you hadn't taken that other route. And it's like that, but more, because these intuitive nudges are leading you to growth. It's that organic growth by following these little creative sparks that may not seem logical. It's more of a feeling, inspiration. So that is your message from your highest self. The growth, the growth that you seek, it's not going to come all at once. It's like a plant, and it's going to come with these little illuminated moments. It's this silent knowing. It's your truth. You trusting yourself instead of second guessing yourself. Should I do this? Should I do that? Just trusting that. And this is practicing trusting that inner voice. This is what's going to lead you to that becoming. So beautiful. Reading number 1, please let me know if this resonates. I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 2. You chose the Cinnabrite with the butterfly. Another beautiful synergy, synchronicity, because we know butterflies are a beautiful symbol of transformation, and Cinnabrite carries the fire of transformation tempered by the calm clarity of higher guidance. Cinnabrite is often called the stone of the spiritual path. It activates your inner compass, helping you clarify your life purpose, align daily actions with soul-level goals, break through stagnation or confusion about your calling. It acts like a lantern held by your higher self, illuminating the next steps with courage and trust. Think of the Hermit card. It supports the solar plexus, encouraging self-discipline without self-punishment, confidence in your own timing, motivation to move forward even when the path feels uphill. It helps you remember your why. reigniting your fire while keeping you anchored. It also resonates with the heart chakra, offering emotional healing from self-doubt, past discouragements. It offers you a sense of unconditional self-acceptance. Even while you're striving, it gives you the energy to hold boundaries with compassion rather than force. It's really good for wounded healers, sensitive leaders, and those reclaiming their inner authority. And then, of course, the butterfly, a beautiful symbol of transformation. And we see the chrysalis here just having emerged, spreading its wings, ready to fly. And we even see leaves of growth on the branches in the background. All right, let's see the cards that you got yesterday. 10 of Cups. You got them yesterday, but you were meant to hear them today. Divine timing. 6 of Swords. And 6 of Wands. All right, with the 10 of Pentacles, your transformation is not just for you. It's ancestral and intergenerational. You're activating the part of your purpose that involves weaving the old with the new. You're bringing forward ancient wisdom into modern form. Your soul purpose is not separate from your home, your body, your family, your land. And in fact, it's rooted in them. The legacy you're building now is spiritual wealth, teaching, stories, energy lines that will ripple for generations. You're not just healing forward, you're healing backward. You are the future your ancestors dreamed. The 6 of Swords, which came out in reading number 1 in the same place, is your sacred passage, leaving behind mental constructs, relationships, or belief systems that no longer serve your becoming. This is a liminal crossing. And it's not that these things you're leaving behind were mistakes, punishments, poor judgments. It wasn't anything like that. It was what your soul, your spirit needed to consume in order to become. So think of the caterpillar. You know, this looks like it could be the monarch butterfly, and the monarch caterpillar eats milkweed, which is poisonous to most creatures. But it does this, and it becomes this beautiful butterfly. And because it's consumed this, not only has it transformed into this beautiful butterfly, but it doesn't, it's not going to be something that predators want to eat now, because it holds that medicine within it of the milkweed. So your past experiences were meant to happen. You were meant to consume those lessons so that you could carry that medicine with you. You're just giving it in a new form. And it's not just the medicine from your life, but It's the medicine from your ancestors. It's rooted in your past lives, your bloodline, your bones, that you now carry this medicine forward. And we see that there are 3 sixes. We have the 24 here, which reduces to 6, 2 and 4, 6. Then you have the 6 of swords and the 6 of wands. Those 3 sixes are, it's a trinity of sixes. It's the body, the senses, home, family, work, beauty. It's confirming this 10 of cups. It calls your attention to how you are engaging with your earthly life. And it's this aligned action with your values, your material needs in balance with your spiritual path. You're being grounded in presence rather than scattered with worry. You may feel like you're reevaluating your priorities. It's this clarity coming, this understanding around money, energy, time. You're beginning to remember that you're the creator of your reality, and it's time to choose with intention. You're releasing fear around your desires and trusting that divine fulfillment is not just spiritual, but also sensual and soulful. And the 6 of Wands is your transformation beginning to radiate outward. Your soul purpose is not only internal, it's also meant to be witnessed. So this is a card of emergence, just like this butterfly, of celebration after struggle, of being recognized not for performance, but for authentic embodiment. And you know what performance is? It's when you can tell somebody's doing things because they think that's what other people want them to do. And that's not you. You're authentic. And this struggle that you had to go through, first consuming that milkweed and growing so quickly, and then going into this chrysalis, even just to free yourself from that chrysalis, it was all meant to happen because as many of you know, if you were to just cut open the chrysalis, the butterfly doesn't go through the process that it needs to go through. It doesn't get off the excess wetness, moisture from its wings. It doesn't go through the struggle that strengthens it, and it may not fly. So everything that you went through was so that you could fly, so that you could be seen, and you could embrace your authentic embodiment. The world needs what you carry. You're not shrinking from your brilliance. You're walking forward. Your path is crowned with purpose. This is a holy migration. Trust the winds of change. Trust the tide. You're not leaving anything behind. You know, the caterpillar becoming the butterfly isn't leaving anything behind. It's you moving towards your becoming, towards your wholeness. You're becoming the living altar where past, present, and future meet. There's this definite thread connecting you to the past and the future. Your soul work is not ahead of you, it's awakening through you. You're rising and you're carrying love, you're seen, you are guided, and you are ready. Reading number 2. This is so beautiful. Please let me know if it resonates. I love to read your comments, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, reading number 3. You chose the calligraphy stone along with the fox, which is card 27. It reduces to 9, which is fulfillment. And immediately when I see these two together, I know that you're rewriting your story, or you're writing your story. You're becoming aware of the various narratives. When we look at this scene, we see the fox eyeing these ducks. I'm going to say they're ducks. And we can begin to put a story together. Is he sizing which one he wants for dinner? Is he about to attack? Is he their guardian? Perhaps he has a special relationship with these ducks or their owner, and he's actually their protector. Or maybe there's some other narrative going on here. So there's definitely different perceptions that go along with the same event. And that's what I see here, is that you're rewriting, or you're writing your story. And then we have the calligraphy stone, which is a wonderful companion for those wanting to write, reflect, or intuit with clarity. It absorbs others' thoughts or energies easily. It's good for those who experience spiritual overwhelm. If you're learning to discern truth from noise, it's slow, steady progress rooted in deep knowing. It's connected to earth wisdom, gained through enduring life's cycles, strength that is soft but unshakable. It's grounding for channelers and creatives. It grounds spiritual downloads into tangible creations. Again, it supports writers, healers, artists, oracles, bringing in their visions into form. It balances spiritual exploration with body-based stability. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by intuitive messages or dreams, then the calligraphy stone can help you stabilize your spiritual nervous system. And it resonates with ancient knowledge. It awakens soul memory. It helps with remembering past lives, connecting to ancient lineages, sacred lineages, where you practiced spirituality, like a priest, priestess, shaman. It helps with visions or dreams that feel older than time. So it helps reclaim your spiritual inheritance, especially if you're working with symbols, sigils, or sacred writing. And this is sacred writing. This is what I see. Writing a new story, or writing a story. All right, let's see the cards that you got yesterday, but that you're meant to see today. Everything happens for a reason, I like to believe, and we're going to see what good comes from it. All right, you got the 10 of Pentacles, the King of Swords, and the 5 of Swords. So the 10 of Pentacles is the ink of your lineage. It speaks of legacy, both of what has been passed down to you and what you will pass forward. So already we're seeing a connection with that calligraphy stone energy. Your story is not isolated. It's part of a greater thread woven through generations. There's ancestral wisdom in your bones, but also patterns that are ready to be transmuted. Your higher self is reminding you, you are not bound to repeat what came before. You are the sacred exception, the one who remembers, rewrites, and realigns the path for those who came before and those yet to come. You're changing the narrative, literally. You're composing a spell of liberation encoded with ancestral healing. Wow. So powerful. The King of Swords, and look here, he's pointing at a book. I mean, wow. The King of Swords is that wise mind, the part of you that sees from above and cuts through distortion. Your higher self is urging you to tell the truth, especially the parts that are sharp, complex, or inconvenient. Trust your intellectual authority. Let the story be shaped not only by emotion, but by clarity, precision, and discernment. The king isn't venting. It's not the kind of truth where you're just like letting your emotions, boil out of you and burn those around you. It's using this sword of truth as a tool, not as a weapon. So it's not writing to vent, it's writing to free, to liberate. You're being called to name things clearly, to transmute confusion into insight. You are the keeper of language now, speaking the unspeakable and transforming the story. And the 5 of Swords is, it speaks of internal conflict. The part of you that might wonder, is my truth too much? Will this cause harm? Is it selfish to write my version? Your higher self says that these are echoes of old battles. Perhaps you were silenced in another life or in the beginning of this one, maybe multiple times, right? And so it's just an echo of that. Perhaps you were punished for your words. But this story, this one is yours to tell. It's not to prove anything, but to heal. You're laying down any sabotage, and you're instead experiencing self-redemption. You see those movies where it'll show the same scene several times. And in one scene, it looks like this person does something cruel to this other person and it looks unjustified. And you start to attach judgment and meanings to the story that you see because you're just seeing one perspective of it. And then you in the next part of the movie, it shows a different perspective of that same scene. Maybe it gives you a little bit more information of something that happened just before that scene. And so now you're seeing that scene in a whole different way, even though the scene didn't change. It's the same scene, you just have more information now and more understanding. And then there may be yet another unveiling where you get even more information, and now you have the whole picture, the whole story. It's that kind of huge transformation that you are the catalyst of, the creator of, the recorder. And so if you're actually writing, please let me know, because we do see an actual book here. And look, there's a book here as well. So whether it's a literal book or a metaphorical book or writing, story, you are changing the narrative of your life, and the stories that maybe you once told yourself, whether they most likely came from others, that you just kind of internalized or integrated. Those stories are they're being changed, like we see sorrow and worry and blame or anger, and each one of those is a different perspective of maybe the same situation. But now with this King of Swords and with the lineage of your ancestors and your past lives, you're able to cut through any sleight of hand, misdirection, and have the clarity that you're meant to see the whole thing. And it unfolded like this for a reason, so that you could have those different perspectives and you could experience those different versions of the same story, to allow you to connect to different emotions, different past lives, different inherited ancestral patterns, and give you understanding of other people that you interact with. But now you have this, I'm hearing sovereignty and maturity, to speak your truth with authority and clarity, but without cruelty. There are some people that say exactly what they mean, and they say it sometimes with a smile and nobody gets offended. And then there's other people who it seems like they're saying the same thing, but when they say it, people get offended. I see you being like that first person. You're speaking your truth with confidence, and it's ringing true for others, and nobody's offended, and it's transformative. It's really quite beautiful. Reading number 3, if this resonates, please let me know. I appreciate y'all understanding that things happen. Sometimes the the sound is off and I have to re-record the message, but I think I got the gist of everything, and I'm wishing you the best. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.